Hi everyone, welcome to our WIC kitchen. Today we are doing our cooking demonstration and my name is Claire. I'm a nutritionist and a public health educator here at the WIC program. I do apologize for my voice. I have some allergies going on today, but hopefully y'all can hear me with the microphone okay. And so today we're going to be making a really delicious salad that's called Texas Tabouleh. And so with this salad, we're going to be using a lot of WIC approved ingredients that are fairly new options to y'all. So the base of the salad is bulgur wheat. So if you haven't heard of this before, it is just a type of whole grain that you can get at HEB. This is the brand that's WIC approved at the HEB on Riverside, but it will have the pink sticker and you can always verify with your app as well if you're unsure of which Tabouleh brand to get. I'm sorry, not Tabouleh brand, bulgur brand. And so the nice thing about this is there's a lot of iron in it. There's a lot of protein and fiber. And so it just has more nutrients than something like plain white rice. So that's why we're using this today, because this is a new option for y'all with your WIC benefits. So we're just giving you some options of what you can make this summer with this new option. And for this salad, there are a few components of it that are going to be cooked. So right now I just have a little bit of olive oil heating up in this saute pan. And so I'll start preparing the ingredients that are going to be sauteed. So my lovely sous chef, 𝗙cie already chopped up these carrots for me. We just did just little tiny pieces and it calls for 3/4 of a cup. So that's ready to go. And then the one other thing that we are going to saute is our corn. And so right now we have our corn still on the cob and we have 2 ears of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we get the corn kernel removed from the cob. So right now I'm going to put the carrots in here, get those cooking a little bit. And then I'm going to use this upside down bowl in a larger bowl, if you can see that. And then I'm going to cut the corn off of the cob like this. I saw this like on the Food Network or something, and I think it's the easiest way, but you can do however you want. Now I'm just going to make sure to hold it really safe. I'm going to have a good grip on the knife, just like I'm shaking someone's hand. I have my thumb here, my finger here. And so I have a really good grip on the knife. I'm not putting my finger up here. I'm putting it right here, like I'm shaking someone's hand. And so I'm going to just cut the kernels off right into the bowl. And then as soon as we cut these off, we can add them in to the pan with the carrot. I love corn in a recipe like this, especially in the summertime. It's just so refreshing and kind of sweet, and I think it's delicious. Corn always makes me think of summertime. So, and if you can't find fresh corn at your grocery store, you could always get some canned corn and strain and rinse it. And that would probably be pretty similar, just not as fresh tasting, but it still gets the job done. And so now the cob is fully removed with all the kernels, and I can just throw this in the garbage, or if you compost, you can compost it. We're just doing 2 ears of corn. And so the ear is just the whole thing. And then the cob is like the middle part. Usually takes around like 4 cuts around the side. This one's fully removed now too. And then now, as you can see, I have all of that corn just right in my bowl, and I can just dump it in with the rest of the carrot. And now we have about equal parts corn and carrots in here. Some very vibrant colors. We'll get a lot of vitamin A from the carrot. And the corn will just provide that nice sweetness and some fiber. Let me get a little sauté. I'm just going to stir this around a little bit. And we just want to make sure that these ingredients are getting softened. We don't want them cooked too much, but we just want it to be nice and soft so that the salad is really easy to eat. So as this is going, I can tell you about our other ingredients that we have in the salad. And if you came to the Texas WIC Fest that we hosted last summer and the summer before that, this was the recipe that we served at that event. So if this looks familiar, that might be why. And then in our really big bowl, the nice thing is we already have our beans strained and rinsed. So we have 1 can of pinto beans, and these will give us a lot of protein and fiber and iron. And so it's a great thing to add to a salad just to kind of bulk it up a little bit, help you stay fuller for longer. And then we have 1 chopped red bell pepper. And so I'm going to put that in our big bowl, and we'll stir all of it together later on. This bell pepper will just be a nice crunch component. I think it tastes really good in a salad like this. A lot of vitamin C as well, and some fiber. And then we have some cucumber and celery. So we have 2 cucumbers and 4 stalks of celery. And we have them cut up to about the same size as this carrot. So when you're making a salad like this, you want to make sure that all of the ingredients are around the same size so that you can taste everything equally in every bite. So these are getting nice and soft. I'm gonna let that go for about like 1 more minute. Oops. Put those back in. And then one of the big flavor components of the salad is some parsley. And so we're using curly parsley today. If your family doesn't like parsley, you can pick any other herb that you like, maybe like cilantro or basil. But parsley is what's traditionally used in tabbouleh. So that's what we'll be using today. I'm just going to put all of this on my chopping board and cut it up really nice and fine, and I can show you how I do that. And this is 1 bunch of parsley. And so, if you didn't know, you can actually purchase parsley with your WIC benefits now. You can purchase any fresh herb with your WIC benefits. And that's a nice way to add a lot of flavor to your dishes without adding necessarily a lot of calories. You're also getting some antioxidants and just some fresh leafy greens that taste really good. So it's good just to introduce the kiddos to new flavors and textures. And a lot of the kids that tried this at our WIC Fest really, really liked it. So you might be surprised. The dressing is really yummy. And so you never know. It's always good to try to offer your kiddos new foods. Sometimes it can take a while of offering those foods before they'll actually want to eat it. But the more often you give that as an option, they're more likely to try it. So I say always try, and then if not, you can have more salad for yourself. And sometimes also if they see their parents eating it, then kiddos are more likely to try something. So they might try to eat some off your plate, and so you can encourage them to try it and explore new foods that way. But yeah, this is going to take me a little second. So I'm going to take the corn and the carrots off the heat. They got a little bit brown, which is perfect. So they're just a little softer than they were when they were raw. And now they'll go really nicely in our salad. We got a little bit of caramelization on the carrots. And it'll taste really good. So I'm going to take this off of the heat and just put this to the side and let it cool down just a little bit before I add it with the rest of the ingredients. And so as I'm chopping this parsley, something that I like to do when I'm chopping a lot of herbs is you pick a point on your cutting board and you'll just keep the point at the same place, but then rock the knife all across the herbs. So I'll show you how that works. So you're just gonna chop, 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 chop. And nothing has to be perfect. We just want to make sure it tastes good, but as long as it's all chopped up, mostly the same size, that's what we're looking for. And I love salads like these, especially when it starts to get hot like it is in Austin right now. I'll make something like this like over the weekend on like Sunday evening. And then once it's in the fridge, it'll set up really nice and the flavors will meld together. And then you can eat it for lunch throughout the week. It's super easy to just scoop it into a Tupperware or into a bowl. And I think it's really delicious, and you can always add things to it, but it is a complete meal if you eat it on its own. You have carbohydrates, you have some fat from the olive oil, you have protein in the beans, you have lots of vitamins and minerals in all the veggies and herbs and everything. So I think it's a delicious way to make sure that you're eating enough during the summertime. I know sometimes when it's hot out, I can tend to lose my appetite. But if you're eating cold things, sometimes that can help a little bit. And it's really crunchy and refreshing because if you didn't know, veggies and fruit actually have water in them. So when you eat a lot of fruits and veggies, that can help keep you hydrated as well. You'll still want to drink water, of course, but it's always good to have multiple ways to be hydrated. Okay. Just going to keep chopping this a little bit more. That's great. Add that into the rest of the ingredients. And when you're adding things from your cutting board, it's recommended to do the top of your knife so that you don't dull the blade. I'm just scraping this in the top of the knife. I'm gonna get all of this on here too. And then the next flavor component that we'll be using is these green onions. So we're going to use an entire bunch of these. I'm just going to cut off the white part, or sorry, not the white, the roots at the bottom. And then this has already been washed. So I'm just going to cut them all around the same size as everything else that's in the salad. Yeah. And if you have other ingredients that you're trying to use left in your fridge, you can definitely do that. You can use whatever fruits and vegetables your family likes to eat. I think this would be good with like zucchini, any other type of onions. Really, you could do a whole lot of different things with this. You could serve it with a lean protein like chicken or fish or tofu. And it would be a really great meal to make sure you're getting all the nutrients you need. It'll be really nice and flavorful. And like I said, this is a good one to make ahead of time because as it sits in the fridge, everything kind of marinates and melts together and it tastes really, really good the day after you make it. It'll taste good the day you make it too. Okay. So now I'm going to work on the dressing. I am going to rinse my hands off first because I have parsley all over them, but I'll be right back. All right. My other sous chef, 𝗙cie, prepared the bulgur wheat for me already, so thank you for doing that. We cooked a cup and a half of dry bulgur wheat, and the way that you do that is you will boil water, and then you'll put the dry grain into a bowl that can withstand heat. So we just used a glass bowl. You could use anything, preferably not plastic. And then you'll cover it with the boiling water, put tin foil on top, and let that sit for 15 minutes. And then it comes out like this. So you don't have to cook it like you would rice. You just boil the water and then pour it on top. So if you have like a boiling hot water kettle, you can use that to make things a little easier. I'm just going to add this to the salad. And like I said earlier, this is going to give us some healthy, complex carbohydrates, some fiber, a little bit of protein, and a little bit of iron. Okay, now I can work on the dressing. So I have, let's see, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and then I have 1.5 teaspoons of salt up in here. And then 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. I'm just going to do a few turns. I like a lot of pepper. And then I'm going to mix up my garlic. Sorry, y'all. I'm back. Okay, sorry y'all, I am back. So right now I'm just chopping up those 2 garlic cloves. It smells really good. This will provide a lot of flavor, especially because the garlic is raw. And so I want to make sure I'm chopping it really nice and fine so it's not too overpowering if you get a big chunk. You want to make sure it's really, really chopped up nice and well so that it gets evenly distributed throughout the whole salad. I know some people like to eat an entire clove of garlic, so maybe maybe you like to do that. And if you didn't see that, sometimes when you're chopping, things will get on the side of your knife and you can just scrape it down and back onto the cutting board just so you can keep chopping it up nice and finely. Okay. So that's all chopped up. I'm going to put that in with the salt, pepper, olive oil mixture. And now our last component for the dressing will be some lemon juice. And so what I like to do for when I'm juicing lemons is I'll roll them first just to kind of get the juices flowing a little bit. And then we'll cut it in half. And we have a little handy juicer right here. We'll squeeze that right into our I think the lemon juice really is what makes this salad one of my favorite salads I've ever had. It just really makes everything taste really bright and fresh and delicious. Um, you could definitely use lime juice, but I do really recommend fresh citrus for this salad. It really makes a big difference in the flavor, and making sure everything tastes really summery and fresh. Just gonna do the other lemon now. One half left. Oops. I've got it. I'm doing this thing. And I'm going to stir this dressing up really nice and good before I put it on the salad. And if you don't have olive oil, any other neutral oil should work, like canola oil. It's all stir frying. And now that our corn and carrots have cooled down a little bit, I'm going to add them to the salad. This smells so good. I'm so excited to have some. So now we're going to pour our dressing all over the salad. Make sure we get all of that goodness into the salad. And then we can go ahead and stir it all up. I love when recipes are this bright and colorful like this. It looks so pretty. So this would be a great salad to bring to like a picnic or like a cookout. I feel like people will see it and be like, wow, you put in a lot of effort and really it's not too hard to make. Now it's all mixed up. And this is our Texas Tabouleh. So this is how you use bulgur wheat and fresh herbs. So I really hope you take advantage of having those new WIC benefits. Please let us know if you try this recipe. And we hope that you enjoy having some extra benefits and options for your family. You also can get some canned fish with your WIC benefits now. So just be sure to look on your shopping list and make sure that you're getting all of your new foods. And the shopping guides can be found at your WIC clinic or on the app. So if you have any questions or concerns, just give us a call and we can definitely help you figure out how to use your WIC benefits as best as possible. But thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry for the brief intermission, but I hope that you all have a wonderful day. And please let us know if you try this recipe, and we'll see you next month. Bye. Thank you.